Fools will resign, wise players will win, but only a true genius could make a draw in this position. Let me explain. You see, it seems like this position is simply a draw, but white has a secret resource, starting with queen f4 check. Now it seems like black can simply get closer to the pawn that is about to promote, and it's going to collect it, but white can play the absolutely stunning queen to f7 check, sacrificing the queen completely. But of course, after the king takes, we are not simply going to get a new queen, because this would actually be checkmate in 1 for black. Instead, white is going to play the brilliant promotion to a knight, forking the queen and king and picking up the queen after the king moves. And now white does have an extra knight, but this is still not straightforward, because black is going to try to pick up the last remaining pawn, and if it manages to do that, this is going to be a draw. And if the knight tries to run down to help the pawn, now this actually gives away the win, because the king is going to run down, and after the knight tries to defend the pawn, this move is going to fork the knight and pawn. The knight will have to move, and the king will pick up the pawn, meaning that the game is drawn. Which is why the only way to fight for an advantage here is to chase the king with our own king, and keep chasing him down the board until eventually it picks up the pawn. And some of you might think, well, Pietro, this doesn't make any sense. We were trying to win this position and you told us that if black takes the pawn, this is going to be a draw. But you see, that's not quite the case, because after king c2, the black king is simply trapped, and we have the time to start bringing the knight. And now, for example, a2 would be a blunder, because knight to b3 is simply checkmate. That is why the king has to keep shuffling around. And now we go this way, the king goes to a1, and now knight to c2 is preparing to checkmate in 2 moves. The king cannot go to a2 because that's guarded by the knight. And after a2, knight to b3 is simply going to be checkmate. But the story is not over. And this is what I meant when I said that only a true genius can draw this position. I was talking about black. Because in this position, black decides to never play the move a2, which is the only move that he can play. Instead, black simply waits until his clock runs out of time, because white, according to the rules of chess, doesn't have enough material to checkmate the black king by force. Meaning that despite having a forced checkmate in 2 moves, white is powerless and black draws the game. And if you want to improve your own chess, I suggest you check out Lotus Chess, an AI-powered tool like no other.